This is an excerpt from Beyond the Ocean of Glass. Author, Captain Renz D. A running live audio series at Pocket FM. Simply install and start listening for free to this unfolding saga at sea, an almost real-life narration of the human drama of suffering. Episode 590, Cold Beyond Imagination. The cold did not arrive like a single blow. It crept, quiet, patient, relentless. At first, it was just a shiver, an involuntary tremor that ran through Brent Sutterford's body as he sat in the lifeboat, soaked through, the wind cutting across his skin as a blade dulled only by repetition. He barely noticed it, not after everything else, not after fire and impact and the violence of the water. But then it deepened. The shiver became a rhythm. The rhythm became lost. His hands, still gripping the edge of the lifeboat, began to feel distant, as though they belonged to someone else. The sensation drained from his fingers first, leaving behind a dull heaviness that made even the act of holding on feel uncertain. He flexed them, or tried to. They moved more slowly than they should have. "Keep moving your hands," he said aloud, though he wasn't sure if he was speaking to himself or the others. "Don't let them lock up." A crewman beside him nodded weakly, his own arms wrapped around his torso, trying to trap what little warmth remained. "I can't feel them," the man said, his voice hollow. "My fingers, they're gone." "They're not gone," Brent said, forcing firmness into his tone. "They're cold. Keep moving. Open and close. Don't stop." The man tried. His movements were clumsy, delayed, but they were something. Across from him, Marilyn shivered violently, her entire body caught in a relentless tremor that she could no longer control. The thin blanket around her shoulders did little, its damp fabric clinging to her skin, offering more illusion than protection. Her teeth chattered uncontrollably. I can't stop," she said, her voice breaking between each word. Brent shifted closer, ignoring the stiffness in his own limbs as he pulled another piece of fabric, someone's jacket, half-soaked but still something, over her shoulders. "Layer it," he said. "Anything we have, stack it." A woman nearby removed her own scarf and passed it forward without hesitation. "Here," she said. "Take this." Marilyn nodded weakly, her fingers fumbling as she tried to wrap it around herself. "Thank you," she whispered. The woman gave a small, hollow nod. Around them, the lifeboat had become a cluster of bodies pressed together, instinctively forming a barrier against the cold. There was no space for dignity now, no room for personal distance. Survival demanded contact. "Closer," a crew member urged. "Everyone closer, share heat, don't sit apart." They obeyed, because the alternative was worse. A man hesitated, his body trembling as he looked at the others. "I don't," he began. "Get in," Brent said sharply. "Now." The man moved, pressed himself between two others, their combined warmth minimal but real. The cold bit deeper, not just on the surface. Inside, it seeped into muscles, slowing them and dulling their response. Each movement took more effort. Each breath felt heavier, as though the air itself resisted being drawn in. Marilyn's head dipped forward slightly. "Hey," Brent said, nudging her. "Stay with me. I'm here," she murmured, though her eyes struggled to stay open. "No sleeping," he said. "You close your eyes. You don't wake up, understand?" She nodded faintly. "Understand." But her voice lacked conviction. Across the water, another lifeboat drifted within faint shouting distance. "Anyone have dry clothes?" A voice called out desperately. No answer came, because no one did. Another voice rose. "Please, someone help." The plea carried across the dark surface, thin and fragile. Marilyn flinched at the sound, her body tensing despite the cold. "They're still out there," she said. "Yes," Brent replied. "We can't reach them all." The truth hung between them, unavoidable. A man in their own boat began to cry softly, his body shaking not just from cold, but from something deeper. "I can't feel my legs," he said. "I can't feel them at all." "Move them," a crew member urged. "Kick, don't stop." "I'm trying," the man said, his voice breaking. "I'm trying." His legs moved, barely, but they moved. For now, the wind picked up slightly, cutting across the surface, stealing what little warmth remained exposed. The water slapped against the sides of the boat, a constant, rhythmic reminder of where they were. Endless, unforgiving. The night stretched. Time lost its structure. Minutes felt like hours. Hours felt like something else entirely. Marilyn's shivering intensified, her body now locked in a cycle it could not break. "It hurts," she whispered. "Everything hurts." "I know," Brent said. "That means you're still fighting. Keep fighting." She nodded weakly, though her head lolled slightly before she caught herself. "Stay with me," he repeated. "I'm trying." A crewman on the opposite side of the boat suddenly leaned forward, retching weakly. "I feel sick," he said. "I don't think." "Hypothermia," Brent said. "Early stage. Keep him upright. Don't let him curl in." Two others grabbed the man, holding him steady. "Talk to me," one of them said. "Stay with me." "What's your name?" David," he stammered. "Good, David," the man said. "Stay with me. Tell me where you're from." The conversation became a lifeline. Words, simple, but necessary, because silence was dangerous. Another voice rose from the darkness. "Is anyone coming?" The question carried across the water, fragile and desperate. No one answered immediately, because no one knew. Marilyn looked up, her eyes searching the horizon that no longer existed. "They have to come," she said. "Someone has to know." "They will," Brent said. He didn't know if it was true, but he said it anyway, because hope, even thin, even fragile, was something they needed. The cold pressed harder. Brent felt it now in his core, a slow, creeping heaviness that made his thoughts feel distant, delayed. He shook his head slightly, forcing himself to stay present. "Keep talking," he said. "No one goes quiet. Keep voices up." The crew echoed him. "Talk to each other. Say anything. Just don't stop." A woman began to hum softly. A simple melody, broken, but steady. Others joined, not singing, not really, but adding sound, adding presence, fighting the silence. Marilyn listened, her head resting lightly against Brent's shoulder now. "It's so cold," she said again. "I know," he replied. "It doesn't feel real anymore." He didn't answer that, because he understood. The edge between sensation and absence. The way the body began to disconnect from itself. "Stay here," he said instead. "Right here, don't drift." "I won't." But her voice faded at the edges. The night stretched further. The stars above offered no warmth, no comfort, just distant light, untouchable. The ocean below remained vast and indifferent, its surface rolling gently now, as though nothing had happened, as though it had not just taken a ship, as though it did not still hold so many beneath it. Brent looked out across the water, at the scattered boats, at the voices still calling, in the darkness that seemed to press in from every direction. Hope felt distant, faint, almost unreachable, but it was still there, in the voices, in the movement, in the simple act of holding on. "Stay awake," he said again, his voice quieter now, but no less firm. Because the cold was not done, and the night had only just begun.